This is good. Mm-hmm. Okay, so greetings, Mike. Welcome back to the show. Welcome back, all of you, to the show. Welcome back. Welcome back. They're coming for us. They're coming for all of us. Hang on, they're coming for us. Okay, I look good now. I look good now. All right. Look good. Okay. Greetings, luxury gentlemen. Welcome to the show, Papa. Welcome, David. Welcome to the show. Welcome back to the show. Let me get a little jungle juice, so I can relax. Oof. Let me get this ready here for you guys too. Okay, so that's good. Saludos. Saludos to everybody. Saludos. So here we go, boys. Here we go. So ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome back once again to the show. Before I get into all the topics that I want to go into, I ask you for a big favor. Please don't forget to give us a thumbs up. I gave up on asking you guys to subscribe to the channel. So I just say, give me a thumbs up if you can, all right? If your body can make it to, ladies and gentlemen, I have so many goodies to tell you today that I'm just going to start off with Dr. E. Saludos. I want to start off with the prices of precious metal materials, and we're going to go right at it quickly. We have gold at $4,271 a troy ounce. Moving on up again. Silver, we get it at $50 even, $50 even. Silver, silver. Platinum, we have it at $1,634 a troy ounce. Platinum. And palladium, we have it at $1,527 a troy ounce, right? Those are your precious metals. We spoke yesterday. I had a matinee live stream, and we spoke about silver. So if you haven't catch that live stream, do yourself a favor and watch it, because I spoke very, very heavily on the precious metal of silver. So maybe you want to take a look-see at that, right? All right. Exactly. Yes, sir, Dr. E. Yes, sir. I wanna say something else. Another subject that I want to fall into, and it's regarding people that leave me messages. They basically are saying that Mr. Juan, I see that Rolex watch prices are stabilized, whatever, those fancy words those people that know a lot use, I don't know those fancy words, but they say stabilizing, like that, and they asked me that, the prices are, are going on up. So I had to I had to, I had to turn on my light in my head, and and let him in a secret, because he was telling me that. And I said, sure, the prices have been going up. I told him, and he says, yeah, I know. And I said, yes, they've been going up for the last 4 years, since the Corona beer era. Every year, 2 times a year, they're jacking up the prices to a 3%, a 4%, an 8%, a 4%, a 3%, a 13%, a 14%. And he's looking at me like I have 50 heads. And he says, what do you mean? And I said, well, the prices of Rolex watches have been increasing every year for the last 4 years. And he said, well, I didn't know that. So basically, a lot of people out there, I don't want to call you guys lambones and palomos no more. I want to give up on that for a while. Some people don't know what's going on because they're not on top of that. They're just basically, like watches, and they like collecting watches, but they don't know if watches are increasing or decreasing from the factory. In this case, I was telling him that, and I said, and by the way, you still have one that we don't know what's going to happen if it's, the tariffs are going to come in, and the tariffs come in, it's going to be another 31 or 39 or 30, whatever that guy over there from Pennsylvania Avenue decides to do with them, because they're in cahoots. So we don't know. What I'm trying to tell you by this is, ladies and gentlemen, there's a lot of people out there. They're just, skip hopping around through like rabbits, and don't know that Rolex increases prices on their watches whenever they want, 2, 3 times a year, every year. And they're so embarrassed now that, they're not even, raising it no more, because, we've been basically doing it for the last 4 years if you see the video that I did yesterday, the live stream, it would explain to you everything. I even told them that, go take a look at the video so you can understand the way these people operate and the way they play you guys. They play all of you guys like violins, because you're telling me that, yeah, you're going to see the prices going up because, the increase of all these watches, they're all going up in pricing. So he didn't know. So I think it's best if you let your friends know, your buddies that collect watches, let them know what's going on, because, they basically don't know what's happening. They don't know that, watch prices have been, jacked up by, by those people, from, the king of watches, They do whatever they want. They can do whatever they want, and people don't even question it. And he didn't even know about the tariffs either. He was just skip hopping around through life, like everything is beautiful and everything is rosy. So my advice to all of you people don't know. Many people don't know that Rolex has been increasing their prices for the last 4 years. Like I said again, 3, 4, 8, 13, 14, 15%, 2%, 3, depending on the metal, stainless steel, the platinum, yellow gold. They don't know nothing. They don't know nothing. And I can't do everything because my body aches. My body aches already. And I don't feel like writing things, and Kino doesn't understand too much the language, so I have to write it for him. So people are skip hopping around through life still like everything Rolex is beautiful, and the prices are normal, and the prices are going up. This is what they're thinking. They don't realize that it's been increasing for the last 4 years, and they believe that everything is fine, and they also believe that they don't even know that a tariff is around the corner, because I'm telling you, I said this yesterday on my matinee live stream. If they put that tariff at 39%, I don't see many people, buying no more watches. I mean, maybe a couple of you have a couple of bucks and you want to spend it on that because son lambones, los lambones existen. We have a lot of lambones who exist out there, they don't care, But I do care, and I don't like to give money away like a lollipop sucker, I don't like that. So I'm letting you guys know that some people still believe that the prices of Rolex are going up, but they don't put they don't put in mind that prices are being, jacked up by Rolex, So I'm trying to give you that message so you can help out your your chum friends from work, porque están hechos unos palomos, you know? I mean, it surprised me so much when he was telling me that the prices are beautiful. Everything is stabilizing. Everything is perfect. I'm going to tell you guys something. Prices right now are dropping faster than Bill Clinton's pants. And I'm going to tell you something to all of you right now, quickly on a watch market update. If you are looking at a Rolex GMT with a Jubilee bracelet, you know, the Pepsi, you know, the blue and red ceramic bezel, you know, the one that couldn't get the color together, you know, from where from Chin, they couldn't get the color together on that ceramic bezel, and you're looking for that watch, the retail price of that watch is $11,100. Don't you dare pay more. Don't pay more than $17,900. You do whatever you want, but I'm giving you a real quick one to wake you up so you understand what's going on. Right, guys? The GMT Rolex Jubilee bracelet Pepsi. Jubilee, red and blue ceramic bezel para los lambones, for the lambones, for the Michiganers. Don't pay more than $17,900. And okay? You do whatever you want. Ladies and gentlemen, I also want to talk to you a little bit about this gentleman. You know, they're calling this thing that's happening with the government. You're not going to believe this, ladies and gentlemen. You know, the government shut down, but you're not going to believe this. They're calling this. Does anybody know what they're calling the government shutdown? Does anybody know? Nada. The government shakedown. I like that word. You know what they're calling it? They are calling it, if you don't know this, they are calling this the George Soros shutdown. That's what they're calling it. But I'm here to explain to you about that. I told you have two colors. You have the blue and you have the red. Don't believe the nonsense. Don't believe that it's called the George Soros shutdown. These are these two Michiganers fighting at it, going at it, finger pointing at each other. And like I told you, after the TV is off and the doors are locked, they're dancing together. They're making love, you know, like the summer of '69. You don't know about that. You don't know about that. You don't even know what the summer of '69 is. You don't know about that. So when they're telling you out there about, you know, the George Soros government, they're just playing us. They're all playing us. These people play together. They say bad things about each other. They call them orange juice. They call this guy the hot dog pizza guy. They call this one that one that. Papi, it's all rigged. I know it's hard for you to understand that. Many, many years ago, with all due respect, I was like you people. I believed in those colors. Today, I don't believe in those colors. You know, because I'm a recovering tomato can. That's what I'm trying to tell you. This is what they do best, you know. They do this, they start putting names, and then they blame it on this guy, on that guy, on this party, Tea Party, that party. It's a sketch, all right? But you do whatever you want. If you still want to keep on believing that, that's fine. All right, guys? That's fine. Let me continue on here, ladies and gentlemen. I told you something yesterday, and I spoke to you guys about the anonymous. You know, many years ago, we had the anonymous everywhere. And some people yesterday honestly, I didn't know that what I was doing it meant so much to them that they sent me a couple of emails and they told me this, and I gotta tell you that, you know, they were telling me, thank you for dropping what you were dropping out there, you know. And I was like surprised because to me, I think everybody knows about Anonymous, you know, the guy with the black cape, you know, with the black tunic, you know, and the funny face, you know, and the funny voice, you know, Anonymous. He's unbelievable, that guy. He's been telling every single one of you out there what's happening, what's going to happen, in what year, what time, what month. He's been telling you. And I told everybody yesterday in this show, do you know whatever happened to Anonymous? You know, we don't see no more Anonymous no more. There's no more Anonymous, you know, with the Joker face. You know, a strange face he has, you know? Unbelievable. And he has a, you know, exactly, you know, and then, you know, these people, well, I gotta tell you, if you want to know what happened to Anonymous, I will tell you. They started increasing law enforcement, you know, to pressure, to pressure these issues, what's going on, because they didn't want to know more telling you people. They were waking you people up, They were waking you people up with, with those those coffins, and all that stuff over there in Georgia. You don't know about that, but these people were saying a lot of things. So they arrested a lot of people. They went down on those people big time, and big time, I'm talking about big time. And people were telling me that, that how did I, how did I dare say that? I'm not saying nothing bad. I'm talking about a clown, a clown. I'm talking about a clown, they're saying all kind of things and pushing this agenda and that agenda and this and that and that, and schools, what happened in schools with those, those people that do things in schools, You know what I'm trying to say. You know what I'm trying to say, and I can't be saying too much, but people were asking me that, that it was very gutsy of me saying that, and I still didn't find that gutsy. I think I have said things in this platform. They're more, más salvaje, But they were telling me that they couldn't believe that I was talking about that so freely about that, And I'm telling you guys what happened to Anonymous. Anonymous, basically, they got them all on lockdown. And if you guys didn't hear this yesterday, I'm going to tell you again, ladies and gentlemen. When you're going live, like I'm going live right now, I have probably a 5-second delay when I talk to you guys, and you get it 5 seconds later. This is for real, guys. You get a delay from me because they want to see what I'm saying before the delay, se empata, se empata. They want to hear that, and this is live. This is live. So they got me on a 5-second delay. When I'm talking right now, 5 seconds go by, and then you hear what I'm saying, like that, through the whole show. Even though we're not saying nothing bad, but they have this delay, right? When I publish a video, were many of you here yesterday that you guys know about this, about what I'm talking about? Should I keep on with this, or you guys heard this yesterday? Okay, so what happens is when I do a regular video, it's not live, just a regular video. That video, when I publish it, I have to wait half an hour so they can verify that everything is cool, everything is good. So the same thing happened with those people, with those people with the clown face and the black tunic, and the funny voice, Anonymous. So what happened was they caught up to the, to the scheme. They caught on. And what they would do is, before they would let the thing, they wanted to see. And when they would see the face and the funny voice, boom, you cannot you cannot put it in, because you got the anonymous voice, the anonymous face, and the cape. So every video that they did was being, and that's it. So it's what it is. This is why they have disappeared. But let me tell you something. They were a big part of waking up many people out there. The robot voice, the robot voice. So I wanted to let you know about that too, so you know what's going on, what happened to Anonymous. Anonymous lo cogieron y lo penetraron. They penetrated him, It's what it is. I want to say something else, ladies and gentlemen. I want to say something else. Changing the conversation a little bit, so, we do something cute here, I believe that there are stars out there, there are stars. stars, estrellas. And I also believe they are rock stars, you know, rock stars. Stars, rock stars. And then there's whatever supernatural phenomenal. That's this unbelievable name, Shohei Ohtani. I don't know if you guys saw the game on Friday night with this guy, you know, over there. I don't know where he's from. He's unbelievable. Shohei Ohtani. He plays for the Los Angeles Dodgers. You know, this guy hit 3 mammoth, colossal home runs. Not home runs, mammoth, colossal home runs, right? This is only, you would only think of, you know, Babe Ruth, you know? A story like this, you would think of Babe Ruth. But we're talking about a gentleman, somebody showed me he's from Japan, you know? Ohtani, you know? 3 colossal mammoth home runs. Pitch for 7 innings. 7, you know? He hit 3 home runs. He pitched. He threw the rock. He threw the rock for 7 innings. And he striked out. He fanned. You know, he fanned. He fanned 10 batters. 10 batters. Ladies and gentlemen, what you witness to the ones that got to witness it like I did, it was unbelievable seeing this. This is only told in fairy tale movies, you know? Babe Ruth, you know, hitting the home run and pointing to the fence, you know? That type of stuff, you know? The Bambino, you know, the Bambino. And you saw history. So if anybody is from Los Angeles here right now, hey man, what you guys saw was something that, you know, I thought I would never see something like that in my life. A pitcher throwing the rock 91 miles an hour, 97, 101, and striking out 10 major league batters. He left everybody homeless. So I want to salute that gentleman, you know. Supernatural. I just finished saying it. I just finished. Listen to me, Alex. I swear to my, you know, to my health. I said supernatural, man. Un phenomenal. Supernatural. Papi, throwing the ball and then hitting home runs, eso es algo, you know, I don't know, you know. I don't know. I don't know si tipo se está apoyando, you know, over here is getting some of that jungle juice. I don't know what it is, ladies and gentlemen. But I saw something that is un phenomenal. He went 3 for 3, 3 for 3, 3 for 3, and he fanned 10 batters, and he pitched for 7 innings. Bobby, we witnessed the greatest show, you know, we the greatest show, you know his name, you know his name. I say Shohei Ohtani. It's unbelievable. I just want to let you guys know about that. Felicidades a todo el mundo con ese equipo de los Dodgers de Los Ángeles. Unbelievable. That's what I got to say. Ladies and gentlemen, I also must say something else to you. You know, I spoke to all of you about, wow, he's done this before. 3 home runs and pitched, you know, and pitched 7 innings and 10 strikeouts in a championship, you know, division game. I don't know about that, Bobby, but if you say so, I believe you, you know. I believe you. Ladies and gentlemen, I spoke to you and I did a live stream, and I told you guys that, you know, in these months of, you know, October, November, December is crucial to be going to those club gyms, you know, club gyms. And I told you got to be careful because these people, they you know, they stalk you, you know, they stalk you to see, you know, what pair of sneakers you're wearing, to what car you're driving, you know, all that stuff. And I tell you that this is all over the place, you know, New York, Miami, California, it's all over the place, ladies and gentlemen. And, you know, there's a man, and when I say they study your cars, you know, it's unbelievable. This man goes into this garage and he's driving a Bentley, you know, a Bentley, exactly, LV, Nike shoes. You know what I'm trying to say. Thank you, Alex, for helping me out with the words. I need your assistance, you know. So, you know, the guy is coming in with a beautiful Bentley convertible top, you know, and he's going into the private parking. You know, they must have been staking him, you know, on a stakeout for a couple of days, you know, because, you know, this is going to be a big score. It's going to be a big score. And the guy walks in, he parks his car on the same level. Does anybody know where I'm going with this, or you guys don't know? Porque ustedes son palomo, you know? Ustedes son palomito, you know? You know, parks the car, he gets out, you know, they're watching him from far away. He real far, and again, so they know already the hour he comes in, you know, with his big boy car, you know, beautiful car, white, unbelievable, ladies and gentlemen. And ladies and gentlemen, the man has a watch in his hand that, you know, I'm talking about. This man is a big time businessman, and he has, you know, for what I see in the pictures, he has one of the most rare. I don't know. That's the word, right? Rare, when something is like, you know, rare. He ha- he has the a Richard Mille, you know, double tourbillon. You know, it was unbelievable with the skeleton and the dial. It's unbelievable. But you know, sometimes, you know, you don't want to show this too much because you might get a thunder lightning and y se jode todo, you know, and I don't want that to happen. So I got this because, you know, Sweet Kid Kino, he has delinquent friends all over the country and they send him things. You know, Kino, to be honest, Kino, at one time, he was on. I want you to hear this. I can show you the video, but I rather not, so, you know, we don't have no trouble here, you know? But I want you to hear this. You know, you guys are unbelievable. You guys need to see this, so.
What you're looking at is security video captured from this parking garage along Main Street in Irvine. It shows an armed robbery. Three men come out of a light-colored SUV and attack an Irvine businessman as he was getting into his car. That businessman says that the three men were armed. They were attacking him, pistol whipping him, and then they took off with his $600,000 watch. That man is now offering a $50,000 reward for any information leading to an arrest. Irvine police say they are investigating and they were able to gather a lot of evidence from the scene. This was Wednesday night around 5:30 when this happened, and investigators are looking into a number of things, including fingerprints that the men left behind on the man's hood of his car.
So, you know, I'm gonna dare myself to show it to you because, you know, you heard the audio. Let me show you this so you can understand what happens when you go to one of those club gyms, what they're watching you. I'm gonna show it to you now because I'm like that, you know.
What you're looking at is security video captured from this parking garage along Main Street in Irvine. It shows an armed robbery. Three men come out of a light-colored SUV and attack an Irvine businessman as he was getting into his car. That businessman says that the three men were armed. They were attacking him, pistol whipping him, and then they took off with his $600,000 watch. That man is now offering a $50,000 reward for any information leading to an arrest. Irvine police say they are investigating and they were able to gather a lot of evidence from the scene. This was Wednesday night around 5:30 when this happened, and investigators are looking into a number of things, including fingerprints that the men left behind on the man's hood of his car.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, people are asking me, Mr. Alex is asking me, is this in Florida? And I must say to all of you, no, it's not in Florida. It's in Irvine, California. California, you know, in Irvine, California. Listen, ladies and gentlemen, you know, you're talking about a watch. That watch you see there, That watch, this so you guys understand this. That watch, the Iron Sheik Tunic Man, the Iron Sheik Tunic Man, over there, outside of town, over there. He was asking for that watch at one moment. Does anybody know what that watch was costing at one moment? Nobody knows? That watch was costing exactly over in California. Over a melon, papi. Over a melon. Over 2 melons. All day, every day. All day, every day. Okay? That watch right there. And he was being watched. And he got knocked around. They took off his watch. And now he's giving out a $50,000 reward if they can catch these criminals, But these criminals come out at this time of the year, ladies and gentlemen. Like I'm telling you, they come out at this time of the year to get people, in the gym. So if you're going to one of those gyms, Scandinavian, Fitness LA, what I'm saying? I don't know, Vic Tanny, whatever it is that you like to go, it's exactly Q4, exactly, Renato, exactly. It's Q4. People need money and they don't care. And then I'm gonna show you this because I am the only dodo bird. I'm a self-proclaimed dodo bird that shows you this. But the shows that you probably watch, you're not watching it too much no more because they don't have no more content no more, They don't have no more content for you. And so basically what's left over is the crumbs. I'm the crumb bum, I'm the crumb bum. And this is what's going on. People over there, the guy came in his Bentley. He was going to go do a couple of curls, in the gym. And he almost lost his life, And let me tell you something. If I may say this, in a very, not in a way that you're going to misunderstand me. He got away. He got a second chance of life, because when those people come to see you, un fuetazo primero, te quito el reloj y se terminó de más nada. You don't know what I said. I don't want you to know what I said. I just give you the description of what happened. ¡Pac! Vamos, se fue. Let's go. Over. Yeah. This is what it is. I'm telling you, you guys got to be very, very careful. You got to stop, filming in trains and buses, and showing your Timex. You got to stop doing that, man. You gotta go home, be safe. Mucho Uber, a lot of Uber, man. Get Uber here, Uber there, everywhere, because if not, you got to stop giving it away. Give it away, give it away, give it away, give it away, give it away. You know what I'm saying? Like the red hot chili peppers, give it away. You can't do that, man. You got to be very, very careful. I'm telling you, we're living in dark times. No hay dinero por la calle. There's no money in the street, papi. There's no money. These people are watching too much of that platform. The world is dead, papi. The world's dead. You got to be very, very careful. In that California, I'm going to tell you, that California está caliente. It's hot. It's hot over there in California, ladies and gentlemen, because, over there, I don't think, I don't think you could be packing, I don't think you could be packing over there. I don't know. Packing steel, because aquí en Florida te dan un pepazo, brother. Te van a dar un pepazo. You might take the watch, my president, but you're gonna, you know what I'm trying to say. But over there in California, people they can't carry. That's why I'm saying that man over there, he got a second chance of life, because the guy with the Royals, with the Bentley convertible, white Bentley, blue top, and the Richard Mille, he had a second chance, because those guys over there, it's hard for them to, it's like over there in California, for what I understand, people give up their they give it up. Over here, they've tried many times to do, to pick up everybody to turn in their weapons, but, like what they did in Cuba, in all those countries, all those communist countries that turn on all the weapons, and then the day that the government slaps you around, you don't have nothing to defend yourself. I don't know. I'm just saying. Tú sabes. So the guy got a second chance of life. He lost his $600,000. That's what they allegedly say. Everything I'm saying here is allegedly. Everything is allegedly. Para que sepan ya. But I told you all this so you know what's going on, I told you guys something yesterday before I go into the watch market update, because I'm going to go into the watch market update. And I want you to know this. And please, if you know it already, that's fine. Cover your ears. And to the ones that don't know it, they're going to hear it. I do not know if you guys know that, there was a big U.S. seized, seized. I think that's the word, seized. The United States government seized 15 billion in Bitcoin from hackers. From hackers. I think it was it was in these last couple of weeks. How's that, okay? Last couple of weeks, last couple of 9 days. I spoke to you about Bitcoin and gold. The government, whenever they want, they seize your Bitcoin y te cagaste en tu madre. Y más nada. So they seized 15 billion in Bitcoin from hackers. And it was called, organization. They call this organization. To the ones that don't know it, you're going to know it today. It was called, the organization was called Pig Butchering. Operation Pig Butchering. Pig, and butcher. That's what it was called, from those people, those people from our country. They're unbelievable, those people from our country. They know too much. The intelligence they have. Enfocado, papi, enfocado. Focus to the T. So they have Operation Pig Butchering. 15 billion in Bitcoin. Se jodieron a todo el mundo. And I've told you that already, that whenever they want, they can seize that one. That Bitcoin stuff. They get you get out of your minds now, Y más nada, I'm going to say you're a hacker, you're doing this, I take all your Bitcoin, y más nada, te va pa'l carajo. It's what it is. Did you guys know about this, or you guys didn't know about this? Because I got to keep on telling you things like little babies. Chupando, You need to bury your gold. Just exactly like Mr. Donut say. This is what I'm trying to tell you. So you understand everything that I told you yesterday. And again, I told you yesterday that there is a big deficit. And I mean a big deficit on silver. A big deficit. And they're saying that the deficit is because we have to give the first choice to the people that doing around the world solar panels. You know what solar panels is? Solar panels, those things that make your roof look kind of funny. Solar panels. You don't know about that, but I'm going to talk to you about it again, because you guys need to know what's going on with silver, And then they say afterwards, and we also have to give first choice to the people involved in electronics. You understand me? Look at that. Everything I'm saying, Mr. Donor is saying it with me. With electronic cars, una jodienda. That guy over there that hangs around with the guy from Pennsylvania Avenue that does the electric cars. You don't know about that kind of stuff. You don't know about that kind of stuff. And I don't expect you to know it, So they have this big deficit that's going on, You know what I'm saying, Mr. Donut. You got a big deficit that's going on, and ladies and gentlemen, it's all in the plan, and the plan is aligned, The plan is aligned. I've known for, you're gonna say, Juan, listen to me. I've known for years that we have a deficit with silver. And somebody by the name of Grande from this Organic Watch channel, he said yesterday, this has been going on. That deficit for all of you. That deficit is big. It's all in line, Papi. It's all in line. It's working like a charm since the year 2021. Because they know that this thing is gonna explode. It's gonna explode. So what they are doing, all of them, they're not mining. There's silver like you won't believe it, but hay que buscarlo. Hay que buscarlo en Colombia. You know what I'm saying over there? Maldives Island. You know what I'm trying to say. Outstrips the supply. Papi, there's a guy that came out. This is what I'm trying to say. They come out of the woods. Brasil, Venezuela, todo eso. There's everywhere. But since 2021 is for us. And then you got that Meshuggah, Larry Fink, BlackRock, he's distracting all of us. He's put every single person in social media in payroll. I'm gonna make you rich in 2 weeks with this crypto growing, this, that. There's a bunch of people all over any social media you want to look at. They're promoting, in 10 days, I'll make you a millionaire. In 5 days, I'll make you a millionaire. You know what I'm trying to say, Dr. Evo. You know what I'm trying to tell you. So they're basically telling everybody that we're going to make you now with the, tokenization, with this, that. But they have the silver, get out of here. It's ours. Get out of here. It's already at $55 a troy ounce. It's going to hit 1,000 and we have it all. They don't want to let go of it. I said this yesterday and I'm going to say it again. I went yesterday to Costco with my beloved wife. We went over there. We went to do our shopping. When you go to Costco and you buy 7 things, 8 things, it's like $1,000. It's unbelievable, but true. I told my wife, what you bring me here for? And then I go crazy too. I start taking boxes of shrimp, this, lobster, steak, tomahawks, all that kind of stuff, And so I leave my wife alone. She goes to do the thing, her thing with the lady that goes with us, and over there, and I start looking, and I go back to the jewelry place, and I start talking to Spanky. Spanky's in charge of the jewelry section in Costco, and I say, hey, man, what's happening, Mac? Yeah, what happened? Yeah, I talked to you about the gold, and I talked to you about the silver. He says, that, I got to tell you, that's not coming in. That's not coming in. And I said, but how do you know? Well, because I've been stacking up on silver, and nobody has silver nowhere. I went yesterday to buy at least, give me 5, 10 ounces, There's nothing, Papi. There's no silver nowhere. There's no silver nowhere. And so this is what the plan is, to tell you now, to distract you that this is happening, that this is good, that this, and the whole, how can I say, the social media, the internet, Papi, is blowing up with everybody making a commercial that they're going to make you a millionaire in 2 weeks with, cryptocurrency, tokenization, tokenize. That guy Larry Fink from BlackRock, because they put him there. They say, Larry, you're up. You got to go up there now, Papi. You're the biggest. You're worth over $60 billion, but you got to go out there and guide these people, You need to guide these people and tell them not to look over there, to look over here, while we push all the silver here and while we push all the gold here. But let's stay with silver. Let's stay with silver. This is unbelievable, ladies and gentlemen. And what do I get for giving you all this information? I don't even get a thumbs up, man. I can't even get a thumbs up. Yo no le puedo sacar ni un thumbs up a esta gente. And what I talk to you people is something that you need to know. Ladies and gentlemen, yesterday I did a powerful, powerful live stream. I think it was like around 3 o'clock. I did a live stream. And people went nuts when they heard what I was saying about Anonymous, about silver, about, deficit, since 2021, no silver for nobody. That's it. It tapped out. It tapped out. It tapped out, papi. No hay silver. Because, and then if you see right now, because I was looking at gold, and let me tell you, you guys show me a word, and that's the word I'm using now. So gold, I was looking at the gold, and it was when I left it on Friday when it closed, it was at $4,012. I said it wrong, excuse me, $4,212. I repeat, it was at $4,212. And then, you got the time frame from other countries. They're already opened up already, and I have all that to look at. And gold was already going like a pumping gas, It was pumping gas. It was already going 430, 35, 37, 42, 37, 42, 45, 42, 60. It was pumping up, papi. It was already, when I left it, it was already at $4,270. How much? Look at it, right here. 42.51. That's all. Moving on up, boom. But there's no silver for none of you. There's no silver. I'm telling you this. There's no silver. But I've known this. I said, where are they going to get all this? And then you have, let me give it to you correctly now. 4,042.67.20. Like a pumping gas. Put there a sign of a gas station. Put me there, pump. Show me a pump there, emoji. I want to see it. I like that, It's unbelievable. But ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you this. These people are telling you there's a deficit, and we have to give it all to the solar panel people and all the electronics, and the guy over there from over there. There it is. There it is. There it is right there, the gasoline. Right there. There it is. This is crazy, ladies and gentlemen, what's going on. It's all rigged. It's all rigged. It's all rigged. But I'm going to give you the punchline. So now, listen to this one. Hello, my name is Tommy, and I've been stacking up on silver for the last 10 years. Unbelievable. And let me show you all my silver. This is like a commercial. And the guy's talking to you. Un lambón, another con. And he's showing you all his silver. I'm going to show you today half of my silver. And then he puts down the number that he paid for it. $7.81. Un lambón, Un lambón. We know it's a sketch, but let me tell you the story. And now, when I bought all this silver you see here, an example, guys, this is all an example. Allegedly, Allegedly. I spent it on all this silver, $36,000. And today, ladies and gentlemen, I can show you my strategy. They hit me one. I'm going to show you. I'm going to show you. The guy says, I'm going to show you my strategy. Thunder lightning, papi. Me tiraron duro, me tiraron. I'm going to show you my strategy, how to convert this $30,000 that I invested in those 10 years in silver, how to get back. Man, he said a number that these kids are here, they go bananas. He says, I got here $390,000. And this is only a quarter of what I have. And I'm going to show you how to do it. No sean lambones. No sean gilipollas. No sean lambones. There's no, right now, I'm telling you right now, there's, like Dr. E said, London's ran out of precious metals. That's it. There's no more. There's no more. So now you got now coming out of the woodworks, the grifter, the huckster, the hoodwinker, the fleecer. He's fleecing people. So you guys got to be very, very careful what you're listening to on those platforms that they're going to make you a millionaire with silver, with their formula. There's no formula, papi. There's a deficit and there's no line. Because those people, all those people in the political world, all those people, big shots all over the world, allegedly, is for them. Not for me and you. It's for them. So now, what they're telling all of us is tokenization, tokenize, Bitcoin, cryptocurrency, all this. And they're all getting involved. They're all getting involved and pushing the agenda that where the money is to make $1 million. You have to be, and let me tell you, the sad thing is that people will fall for that. They will fall for that. Listen, dreaming is unbelievable. It's for free, No cuesta nada. It's impossible. You can get it, but you probably can get, what do you want? You want, an ounce? What do you want, an ounce, 2 ounces? ¿Qué tú vas a hacer con 2 onzas, Alex? There's a sucker born every day. What are you going to do with 2 ounces? I already told you already that to get into that game of silver. Does anybody remember what I said about silver? Es que no me siguen, ellos no me escuchan. You got to buy un cojón. You got to buy pounds, hundreds of pounds to make the money for real. And there's not hundreds of pounds. I can give you a little 10-ounce bar. Go home. 10-ounce bar. There's not what you want to, not what you want to make. That guy's telling you that he has the formula. Don't fall for that. Don't fall for it. No le creen a la cucaracha, these cockroaches, they're out there, preying on people like you, preying on your son. You know what I'm trying to say, chupacabra, you understand? The bloodsuckers, Don't fall for that because, listen, if you didn't see the video that I did yesterday, I'm telling you again, let me tell you, I dropped some heavy knowledge yesterday there about silver, because they got us, man. They got us, and they got us mesmerized with tokenization. Man, you see that guy, Larry Fink, the way he was talking, man, it was, lined up to buy and murder. Wow. Thank you, Frank Rizzo. Thank you. Wow. You enjoyed it? Okay. Thank you, Mr. Donut. I mean, I went heavy yesterday. People didn't know what I was talking about because I got out of, I sometimes shouldn't go that deep because people don't want to entender, they're not. But I did drop a lot about silver. Guys, I'm going to give you a watch market update, all right? I'm going to give you a watch market update. Here it goes, ladies and gentlemen. So you can see how these watches are behaving, because I'm here to tell you the truth, and I love telling you the truth, because, if you see a gentleman, what he was talking about today, it was a gentleman talking about the watches, and there was another one that he has an olive oil voice, he talks beautiful, and he has all his arrows pointing down that he doesn't know that nobody. Listen to what this guy said. This guy's like a Frank Sinatra, in the watch world, And he was saying he was confused. He said, I don't know what's going on in the watch industry. Is this thing crashing? Is it coming back again? Is it a lie? This is a so-called expert. I'm not even an expert. I can tell you that the watch market is dead, And he's saying that, the guy with the olive oil voice, We have that guy saying that, allegedly. He was saying that it was down and like this and down, And then you have another one too, he's another one. I think he's over there from, I'm telling you, It was unbelievable. The other guy I think he's, I don't know if he's from Japan, I think he's from Japan. I don't know, he's another gentleman that talks. He talks very, very precise, and he gives you figures and numbers, and I don't give none of that stuff. I give you the watch market is dead, and that's it. I'm not gonna give you explanation how it's dead. But these people, they're for real. They give you an explanation how dead it is. So we have the guy with the olive oil voice. I think he's English. I don't know where he's from. Can anybody help me who I'm talking about? If you say the name, I'm gonna remember it. I say that's the guy. That's the guy. But that's one. And then the other guy, I think he's from Japan or no, it's not Popeye. No. This guy is what's his name, man? I forgot. But the other guy is, I believe, from China or from Japan. And they were going at it, man. They were saying that, or maybe from Singapore. Maybe he's from Singapore, the guy. But he talks analytics with the green, with the red button, going down and all that stuff. And he came out and said, he came out and said, está muerto, está jodido, papi. El tipo ha dicho, the guy from China said, he's like the guy from Watch Charts, but it's not that guy. But he said, in his own way, he said the watch market is dead. He said that the watch market is dead. I mean, he said it in his own way. He didn't say the watch market is dead, but he said it like in his own way, Guys, you know what I'm talking about. You see him. He has a sexy voice. You know what now? It's not Popeye. I'm sounding like Popeye, but it's not Popeye. And he says, well, it's now the watch, and it can go up, it can go down, but let's see what happens. He talks like that, Help me out. No, it's not that guy. That Hermie the elf. Hermie the English elf. No, it's not it. So the Chinese guy and the other guy. I'm telling you, there he is. That's the guy. Coño, no me salía. You're 2 for 2. Doc making Florida. That's the guy. He was confused. He was like, I don't know what's going on. That's the guy. No, tell him who it is. Tell him who it is. That guy. You had to hear that guy. And then the other Chinese guy was saying, I don't know. The watch market is dead. Y ya se jodió todo. That was it. I'm like saying to myself, man, I've been saying this. No, it's not that guy. No. It's somebody put his name already there. I don't want to say his name, guys. I don't want to say his name. But put it out there a couple of times so they can see it, guys. Put it out there so they can see it. Put it out there so they can see it. It's that guy. But let me tell you, that guy, not the Chinese guy, the other guy, he's really, really good. And he looked kind of like, what do I say, man? Because what you've been seeing is selling watches amongst each other, dealer to dealer, dealer to dealer. Y se jodió, ya, there's no more room. There's no more room. So that guy, which I told you, they told you his name. No, nobody put the name down. Put it one more time, Mick, if you don't mind. That guy and the Chinese guy, they were, that guy right there. You see the name? That's the guy. He was confused out of his mind. I never seen him that way. I was looking at him and I said, damn, just say Opus and Time watches. Say Juan. Say Juanito. Juanito. That's it. He's been saying it. Because he looked out of whack, and the other guy from Japan or China, he said, esto está jodido, brother. Because he took out analytics and everything, He was doing everything, and he said, esto no da, esto está jodido, papá. By Jackson. Jackson Memorial is a hospital we have here in Miami when people are finished, done. So I'm letting you know what's going on with the watch market. Our first watch, ladies and gentlemen, is a Rolex two-tone Sky Dweller, 42 millimeter. Unbelievable, white dial. Reference number 326933 with a retail price of $19,250. Unbelievable Sky Dweller, unbelievable. Listen to what Doc Mick is putting the name there so you can see it. I'm voicing him out. Go see his show. Leave this show and go over there. But anyway, he's confused out of his mind. You know, he's confundido. Ladies and gentlemen, do yourself a favor. And right now, Mr. Donor is saying $16,500. And I'm going to show you where I'm at with the watches, where I'm at. Don't pay for that watch. I told you the retail, $19,250. Don't pay for that watch. Use slider condition material watch. Don't pay more than $14,700. And bam, here it is. That's one right there. Ladies and gentlemen, our next watch is a Rolex Rose Gold Daytona. You know, sunburst, you know, dial. It's unbelievable with diamond markers. It's unbelievable, this watch. You know, this is an unbelievable watch. Reference number 116505, 40 millimeter. Retail price, ladies and gentlemen, is $41,600. You know, $41,600. Unbelievable. Esto está jodido, papá. No hay chavo, no hay dinero, papi, no hay dinero. And ladies and gentlemen, these Meshuggahs are still trying to find, they're fishing. You know, they're fishing for some sardine, you know? They're fishing for sardine. But while I'm here, it ain't going to happen, guys. It ain't going to happen. It ain't going to happen, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to tell you this, ladies and gentlemen. You do whatever you want. But don't pay for that beautiful rose gold with a sunburst dial with diamond markers on it. You do whatever you want. Sir, you know, you from over there, you wanted to hear this price. I'm going to give it to you. Don't pay more than $45,000. And here it is, another one for you guys. Today I'm on fire, ladies and gentlemen. I'm dropping. I'm coming with the blazing. I'm coming in blazing, papi. Vengo a desbaratar a todo el mundo. Today, vengo a desbaratar a todo el mundo. Ladies and gentlemen, our next watch is a Rolex stainless steel Oyster Perpetual. You know, Oyster Perpetual. Stainless steel, Oyster Perpetual, 34 millimeter. You know, lavender dial, you know, purple dial. You know, one of those unbelievable watches, you know, with those dials. But it's a 34 millimeter. Unbelievable, small little, you know, for a very nice, you know, soft hands, you know, nice, you know, 34 millimeters, ladies and gentlemen. Reference number 124. Beautiful, beautiful, Mr. Wicked. Beautiful, Mr. Wicked. I like that. Beautiful. Reference number 124200 with a retail price of $6,050. And ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to tell you the truth and nothing but the truth. But don't you dare pay for that watch. I got to tell you the truth, ladies and gentlemen. If you see their prices and you hear my prices, you're going to go, wow. Don't pay for that watch. And you do whatever you want. But don't pay for that watch more than $8,900. And that, okay, there it is. That's three. Boom, vamos para allá. Next one, ladies and gentlemen, is a Rolex stainless steel Oyster Perpetual. Listen to this one, 41 millimeter. Oyster Perpetual, 41 millimeter, pistachio green dial. Reference number 134300. Retail price $6,650. Ladies and gentlemen, you do whatever you want. You do what you, how much? How much? You love it so much, how much it costs now? How much? Beautiful, Wicked, you're on fire. Don't pay for that pistachio. You do whatever you want. It's your money, and you spend it as you please. Don't pay for that watch. Here it goes. Don't pay for it more than $9,600. And dapping again. Here it is, another one for you guys. Huh? Ladies and gentlemen, here's a Rolex stainless steel Yacht Master. Beautiful blue dial. Beautiful blue dial. 40 millimeter. Reference number 126622. With a retail price of $12,500. How much am I going to turn out to pay for that watch? How much? Come on. Hey, bada. Hey, bada. How much? Nobody knows, huh? But here it goes, because I'm on fire today. Don't pay for that beautiful Yacht Master stainless steel with a blue dial. You know, this is unbelievable. When you hear people like Mr. Donut saying $10,500, that's beautiful. That's beautiful. But don't pay for that watch more than $11,300. And right there it is, $11,300, ladies and gentlemen. You do whatever you want. You do whatever you want, ladies and gentlemen. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm on fire. You should appreciate right now what I'm doing for you people. It's for free, ladies and gentlemen. Por el amor de Dios. Por el amor de Dios. I know what I'm saying, ladies and gentlemen. You know, ladies and gentlemen, I forgot to tell all of you something, and I must tell you this. I got a new iPhone, ladies and gentlemen. I don't know if you can hear me a little better, or the TV image looks better. I don't know, but I got a new phone. This is an iPhone 16. I didn't get the 17 because that one is like $7,000. I got the 16. It's unbelievable. So I want you to know that I'm working on getting better equipment for our show. For our army. Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, I have a watch here for you guys that you're not going to believe this. They've been asking for this watch. $29,000, $28,000, $27,000, $26,000, because they were hyping it, like those two gentlemen I told you from Asia and the other guy that has the olive oil voice, they're already dizzy. They're already saying the watch market está jodido. What are we talking about? It's a lie. Está jodido. The watch market is dead, But I'm going to tell you this one now, ladies and gentlemen. Ladies and gentlemen, this is a Rolex. Another Yachtmaster. Rolex Yachtmaster 42 millimeter. Black dial, black ceramic bezel, titanium. Titanium, ladies and gentlemen. It's unbelievable, Reference number, this watch is unbelievable. You're not going to believe me. 42 millimeter. Reference number 226627, ladies and gentlemen. With a retail price of $15,250. That's right. Olive oil voice. You look for it. He's there. I'm telling you, the olive oil voice is there. And he was mad today because he's confused, they've been greasing him up for too much and they stopped greasing him already. So he said, forget it. You guys are not greasing me up. I'm going to tell the people this is belly up. You don't know about this stuff. You don't know about this stuff, ladies and gentlemen. You don't know about this stuff. But ladies and gentlemen, nice try, Wiki, but no, it's a little higher than that. This is a beautiful Rolex titanium. Yachtmaster, it doesn't weigh nothing, like a feather. It's unbelievable, ladies and gentlemen. And I'm going to have to tell you, the watch is $15,250 plus your taxes. Don't pay. They've been saying 29, 28, 27, 26. I'm going to tell you the price. Don't pay for that watch more than $23,500. And okay, there it is. Tremendo, Renato. Very well, Renato. Very well done. Good for you, Renato. Good for you. Well done. Very, very well done. Okay? Ladies and gentlemen, our next watch is an AP Royal Oak stainless steel 41 millimeter blue dial, 15,500. 41 millimeter, like I'm telling you, with the beautiful blue dial. Retail price is $27,800. And I'm just going to give it to you straight. I don't care what they tell you out there. I don't care. White market dead. You gotta hear the guy. The guy with the olive oil voice and the guy from Japan. Man, they look today disrupt. They look today like, I swear to God, they wanted to use Kino's name. You know that channel, Kino people? Those people are right. I swear to God. I thought you was going to say Kino, because they were going bananas. They had the arrows, instead of pointing up, the arrows, those, you know what I'm trying to say? The arrows going up, they were like that going down. And they weren't green, they were red, going down. I'm telling you what it is. What I do is for free. That's all. And don't pay for that AP Royal Oak stainless steel 15,500 blue dial 41 millimeter with a, that's it, right there. That's what I mean, Mr. Donut. Exactly. With a retail price, like I said already, it's an unbelievable $27,800. Don't pay more. And you do whatever you want, but don't pay more. Don't pay more. And you want it with all the bells and whistles. Full kit. Don't pay more than $36,000. And okay, there it is, ladies and gentlemen. You got that one too. I'm on fire, ladies and gentlemen. I'm on fire. Ladies and gentlemen, our next watch is an Audemars Piguet Royal Oak Yellow Gold. I call this watch the James LeBron, with a smoke dial. And ladies and gentlemen, when you hear these numbers, you run to the hills. Reference number 16202 with the letter B and the letter A. B as in boy, A as in apple. Unbelievable time machine. The jumbo, ultra thin with a smoke dial. It's unbelievable, this watch, Unbelievable. Ladies and gentlemen, this watch at one moment in that Corona era was over $300,000, ladies and gentlemen, because you had to be, You had to be sort of James, James LeBron, that guy that plays for the Heat Miami, the Heat Miami, throw the ball in the net, unbelievable, that guy. He's like 60 years old and he's breaking all the records. He doesn't want to retire, you know who I'm talking about. You know what I mean. You know what I mean. Ladies and gentlemen, don't pay for that James LeBron, extra thin, 16202, 239 millimeter, Smoke dial, retail price is $89,100. $89,100. And ladies and gentlemen, we got to be truthful here, When it moves, I tell you how it's behaving, the way it's moving. Don't pay for that watch. You do whatever you want. Hairline here, chia pet hair, chia pet, from right here, unbelievable. Like the guy over there, the guy, the two toddler body brothers, one of the brothers got a thing like a cat over here, Unbelievable, those people. Don't pay for that watch and you do whatever you want. You do whatever you want, but don't pay for that watch more than $107,000. And there it is. That's one right there for you guys. 2 APs. Our third one, ladies and gentlemen, is the AP Royal Oak. This is a beautiful watch, man. AP Royal Oak Rose Gold Skeleton, reference number 15407, double balance wheel open work with a retail price of $101,100. 101. It's unbelievable, Mr. Dr. E. It's unbelievable. It's all for free. Let me drink some water, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going crazy. I'm already, my elbows hurt when I keep on doing the drops. It hurts me, I even laugh at myself. This is a beautiful watch. The AP Royal Oak Rose Gold Skeleton, open. You can see the organs. You can see everything. 15407, double balance wheel, open work, 101, $101,000. Ladies and gentlemen, this watch was all the way to the moon, beautiful. Rose gold, pink. That unbelievable, this watch, Don't pay for that watch. You do whatever you want. But don't pay for that AP Royal Oak. Don't pay more than $176,000. You do whatever you want. Look at this gentleman. I saw one for $238,000. Coño. Oh my God. Oh my God. Buy some gold. Look into gold. Excuse me. I'm not no finance, genius. You gotta go to Larry Fink. He'll logolize you. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, this is the same watch. The AP Royal Oak stainless steel skeleton 15407 ST, double balance wheel, open work. Retail price is $80,000. $80,000, ladies and gentlemen. Beautiful watch. Beautiful, beautiful watch. For some reason, I like the stainless steel too, with the open work, double balance wheel, lottie. But ladies and gentlemen, no more going Costco. I'm telling you. Don't pay for this watch. You do whatever you want. But don't pay for that AP Royal Oak Skeleton 15407 stainless steel double balance wheel open work. Don't pay more than $126,000. You do whatever you want. Right, guys? You do whatever you want. Ladies and gentlemen, here's a watch. Here's a watch. Very good for you, Mr. Premium. Good for you. Wow. Good for you, Premium. Yes, sir. We have a watch here. This watch is an AP Royal Oak. It's platinum. It's a jumbo, ultra thin, with black onyx, diamond dial with the markers, 12 o'clock, you get a little diamond, the dial is black onyx, and on the markers, it has a little diamond around it, the AP. It's a beautiful watch. And I'm going to tell you the reference number, and the reference number is the Yoshida. Yoshida, it's unbelievable, the Yoshida. From over there too, from over there. Over there, you know what I'm trying to say. Over there in Asia, over there, Yoshida. And ladies and gentlemen, this is a beautiful watch. But the crazy thing about this watch is only 70 pieces around the world. 70 pieces around. Look at Frank, man. Frank is dropping some knowledge. Hey, Frank, what's up with that, Frank? Hey, Frank. Hey, Frank. Frank. Let me take a look again. Frank, come on, Frank. You know, where you getting those numbers from, Frank? Where you getting those numbers from? Come on. You saw what Frank put there, ladies and gentlemen. It's an AP Royal Oak Platinum. Platinum, you know? So jumbo, ultra thin. You know, like the 16202, but they have the name Yoshida. You know? Instead of a reference, you call it the Yoshida. And there's 70 pieces around the world. You know? A regular clock. That's it. A regular, okay, Japan exclusive, exactly, you know? Vamos a dejar la mierda. But the 70 pieces around the world. For those people over there, you know? Yoshida, Japan, I don't know where is that from, you know? 70 pieces, ladies and gentlemen. And this is a watch that the people from over there, those people, let me tell you something. If you guys think that you guys buy watches and you're risky with your money with watches, those people from over there, they don't give a shit. Shit, those people are local. They don't care. They buy it for $700,000 and, you know, they look at it a couple of times. Sell it for $150. I don't want it no more. People are sick, you know? And that watch, the Yoshida, was all the way up. All the way up. You got to look at Frank Rizzo. You know Frank Rizzo? What he put down. Look at Frank Rizzo, what he put down. 70 units around the world. Don't pay for that watch more than $147,000. And okay, there it is. You got that one too, ladies and gentlemen. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to talk to you about a watch that, back in, at least going back 3.5 years ago, I was a fan of this watch. I was a fan, and it was disgusting the price they had on this watch. This is the Vacheron Constantin Overseas, the 6000V, 110A. 6000V 110A. Blue dial, tourbillon, una jodienda, the most beautiful blue dial in the world. And right in the center, Salute dial, a tourbillon right in the middle. A tourbillon, stainless steel. Unbelievable time machine, ladies and gentlemen. It's got a little pain now. I got a little pain. Thank you, Dr. E. Thank you. So this is a beautiful watch with a beautiful blue dial. Stainless steel with the most beautiful blue dial in the game. Vacheron Constantin makes the most, hands down, they make the most beautiful blue dial in the game. Plus it has tourbillon. And this watch at one moment, ladies and gentlemen, it was over $275,000. And the people were going crazy with their PPP loans and their SBA loans and government grants, stimulus checks, unemployment checks. They were going bananas, pushing the button in their fancy cars and giving it away, like the Red Hot Chili Peppers. You know what I'm trying to say, Mr. Blair? I'm talking about this is an unbelievable time machine. And let me explain to you something so you know where I'm at. The retail price of that watch is $129,000. The retail is $129,000 plus your Uncle Sam's taxes, ladies and gentlemen. This is crazy, ladies and gentlemen. This is crazy. This is crazy, ladies and gentlemen, This is crazy. Hey, guys, did I show you that I have a grandson that plays hockey? It's unbelievable. He skates backwards and everything. He skates backwards. Unbelievable, those lessons that we're paying him, Ladies and gentlemen, you're not going to believe this. You're not going to believe this. But don't pay for that tourbillon stainless steel with a, 42.5 millimeter casing. It's a big watch. You put that watch in your hands and the betties go by, the mommies, the chickies, and they throw the panties, smelly panties. But they throw them at you. You know what I'm saying? It's unbelievable, ladies and gentlemen. Wow. $155,000. Thank you. Thank you so much, Frank. Let me tell you, I'm telling you, let me tell you, ladies and gentlemen, when I tell you the price, you're going to understand why the guy from Japan and the guy with the olive oil voice was saying, we don't know what's going on no more. These people are supposed to be genius, the genius people, I'm the genius. And Sweet Kid Kino, he's the one that prepares this, you know? When I tell you the price, we're almost done with the show, so just bear with me, all right? You're not gonna believe the price. And this is a watch that has all the bells and whistles, and basically from a scale to, 10 to a 1 to 10, or 0 to 10, 10 being the best. This is like a 9.5, these watches, because they take care of these watches like it's a monster watch. Wow, you said how much you said, Mr. Donut? Did you say how much? This is Joaquin's channel. It's not my channel. This is Joaquin's channel. I'm just a voice. Wow, man. And I must show you guys this. Mr. Donut says $70,000. And I have it written down. I'm going to show it to you. Don't pay for that watch. It's sad to say this. Don't pay for that watch more than $71,000. It's unbelievable, bro. Mr. Donut says 70, and I told you 71. I could say 70, but I'm lying, and I don't practice lying. I don't practice that. But I will show it to you. Coño, te lo tengo que enseñar. Oh, how can I get this? I'm going to show it to you. I'm going to show it to you, Papa. I'm going to show it to you. He said 70. I said 71. Este Mr. Donut está dañado. You see it? Right there. 71,000. $71,000. Mi respeto, Mr. Donut. My respect to you, papi. My respect. Don't let him get you. Ladies and gentlemen, our next watch is a Rolex Overseas Ultra Thin Perpetual Calendar White Gold Blue Dial, 41.5 millimeter casing. Let me tell you, ladies and gentlemen. You know what? I gotta be honest. What price did I told you guys on the Tourbillon, the retail price? What price, if you guys remember, what price did I tell you on the Tourbillon? No, the Vacheron Constantin. Vacheron Constantin Overseas, the 6000 V110 Blue Dial. What price did I tell you? No, the retail price is 129, correct. Thank you, Achilles, 129. So I'm right then. Everything is good then. This watch is an ultra thin perpetual calendar white gold blue dial with a 41.5 millimeter casing. The retail price is $111,000. Ultra thin. This is another monster watch. And again, for some reason, Vacheron just cannot hold on to their, trousers, man. They keep on dropping to the floor. And ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to tell all of you, you guys know what I'm going to tell you on that watch? This is white gold, papi. Wow, man, Achilles is not playing around. Achilles, I'm going to show it to you. You see it? $79,000 right there. Right here. $79,000. Don't pay more than $79,000. And ladies and gentlemen, I gave you this price when the show began, when I first started the show today, and I'm going to remind you guys again. If you guys are looking for a Rolex stainless steel Jubilee bracelet with a blue and red ceramic bezel, 40 millimeter, reference number 126710BLRO, with a retail price of $11,100. I'm going to tell all of you, ladies and gentlemen, go see the guy that I'm talking about so you can see him confused the way he's going bananas. Exactly. Don't pay more. Don't pay more than that, Mike. Don't pay more than $17,900 for that watch. Okay? You guys do whatever you want. Guys, I'm tired. My elbows hurt. I'm going to go now. Relax. Thank you so much for being with me in this show. Thank you so much for supporting the channel. By you guys being here, you're supporting the channel. So again, I want to thank all of you from the bottom of my heart, all of you for being here. I hope you guys, Chao, Thurston Howard III. Un abrazo, un cariño, papá. Mucho respeto y mucho cariño siempre. I said lots of love and a lot of respect always, is what I said in Spanish. Anyway, guys, please don't forget to subscribe and like the live stream. All right, guys? And like we say always, me and Sweet Kid Kino, take care and brush your hair. Ciao, guys. Love all of you, man. De cariño, del bueno. Cuídense. Un abrazo igual, un abrazo.